Do you remember the Summer of Love back in 2020? Riots happening nationwide, causing billions of dollars of damage. We were all told that they were just mostly peaceful protests. And that all stemmed after a drug addict overdose while he was being arrested. But once again, we were told that this was an instance of police brutality and systemic racism. Not only am I old enough to remember that, I'm also old enough to remember that now presidential candidate Kamala Harris knew it was going to continue and encouraged it.
I know that there are protests still happening in major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I had for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And this is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
Around that same time, she encouraged people to donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which bailed out rioters, looters, and criminals. One of those criminals was Sean Michael Tillman, who ended up killing somebody while on the bail funded by the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Kamala Harris will brag about her time as a prosecutor, but the truth is she doesn't care about crime or criminals. What she cares about is pushing through her radical agenda. And that's why I ask,